This is Zachary Bennett with my Module 5 video assignment. My video presentation format is set up as follows. For each article, I'll show a slide with the article title and a description and summary of the article. The following slide will address or mention key issues from the article. And then the third slide in reference to each article I will discuss as a school leader how I would address these issues. My first article, Article 1, is titled "The Education Gender Gap is Bad for Girls as Well as Boys." The author of this article is Melissa Ben. She's also the author of a book entitled "What Should We Tell Our Daughters?" This article was found in The Guardian through their website at theguardian.com, and it's dated January 31st, 2014. A summary of the article is it talks about how there's been a steady rise in girls' educational achievements over the past few decades, and overall girls now outperform boys from early years through postgraduate. In this article, some of the key issues included, it mentioned exam success is not so good at developing the equally important skills of experimentation, challenge, and risk-taking for both boys and girls. For boys, boredom and frustration seems to provoke them to make the wrong sort of challenge to school authority. In other words, can create misbehavior in boys. And girls respond to these same pressures and concerns by becoming too compliant, or in other words, too passive and not truly expressing themselves and pursuing having their needs met. Now, as a school leader, I would address these issues in a couple of different ways, and I think very significant ways. One would be to make sure that teachers utilize effective classroom management and lesson plan designs to engage all students, and research indicates that high-level skills in these areas of classroom management and lesson designs does stimulate more interest and enthusiasm among students, both boys and girls. Another way to address these issues from the article would be the implementation, a very systematic implementation of performance competencies, or what I think are also character traits. These character traits or performance competencies would include things like initiative, creativity, confidence. These are all skills that can be taught and practiced in a variety of ways. And I think these would lead to more positive risk-taking with students and would create a lot of amazing creative things for them. Okay, the second article that I found was entitled "Gender Gap: Are Boys Being Shortchanged in K-12 Schooling?" This was a question and answer format type of article. The two people who were interviewed were Richard Whitmore and Susan McGee Bailey, and this article came from Education Next through their website at educationnext.org, and it was dated spring 2010. And again, like I said, this was a question and answer format article, and it addressed the ideas of today's schools seem to better serve girls than boys, and they also seem to have an ingrained sexism and gender roles. situations. Some of the key issues from this article included students, or the idea that students need strong preparation for a high-tech global world, which is certainly where our world has headed and will continue to head that way, and the high-tech and global world type scenario will certainly be significant in young people's lives. This article also mentioned that now more than ever, literary skills are key to college success and of course helping to prepare students for their futures, which include high-tech inclusion into the high-tech global world. This article also addressed concerns about the wide gap between boys and girls in reading and writing, where the girls have consistently outperformed boys. Now, as a school leader, I would address the issues in this article in three key ways. One way would be to implement a systematic career awareness and education program, which would provide these types of activities that would familiarize young people with what all is needed to participate and be successful in a high-tech global world, the skills, the knowledge that are all connected with that ever-changing scenario. Also, once again, I think certain performance competencies or character traits would come in, would be very helpful. These skills could be taught and practiced with students, and some of those competencies and traits would include enthusiasm, effort, perseverance, curiosity, and many more. And another way to address these issues would bring together stakeholders to collaborate and address concerns about the gender gap in reading and writing, and what can be done from early elementary, middle school, high school to get girls and boys, especially boys, ready for those type of literacy expectations in college. My third article is titled "Girls Soar in Science, Yet Why Still So Few Women in the Lab?" And the author of this article was a gentleman by the name of Athene Donald. He is a professor of experimental physics at the University of Cambridge. And this article was found in The Observer, which is connected to the website theguardian.com, and it was dated March 15th, 2014. This article addresses the concept of unconscious bias and its effect on women in the lab. And of course, women in the lab refers to girls when they become young women pursuing careers in the areas of mathematics and especially the sciences. Some of the key issues include the presumption that men are more numerate, meaning that men tend to be better at science-related and math-related careers, which the evidence shows just the contrary to that. At one time, girls were perhaps a little behind in that area than boys, but they have certainly have caught up, and it at times seem to be overtaking the boys' or performances in math and science. This article also addresses a couple of concepts known as simplistic stereotyping, simplistic stereotyping, which means the tendency that our cultures and other cultures have of putting girls, women into certain categories and limiting them especially in the areas of science and mathematics. And it's not based on fact. It's just it's something that's a part of the culture, especially I suppose the male culture. Um, and this article also addresses the idea that it seems like women in general have to outperform men just to be regarded as an equal, meaning uh, they have to try harder just to be considered to be on an even playing field with men in the area of the sciences. Now, as a school leader, I would address these issues. Um, the issues of simplistic stereotyping, and also something called unconscious bias that was mentioned in the article, means just a bias that just has no basis. It's just there for whatever reason. Um, these types of concepts could be addressed with stakeholders, especially students, maybe even addressing it when they're young, uh, pointing out the dangers of and the limitations that come when we stereotype and have these biases that we, excuse me, that we aren't aware of. Um, the authors also, or another way I should say, of addressing the issues in this article would be, excuse me, it's the idea of broadening the ideas of what kind of careers or pursuits are ideal for men and women, and what truly counts as success.